Welcome to my Week 4 game for the Beware Battle Association. This week we're playing against SamLizardonStan. I was reading that as SamLizardonStan, like kind of like a dinosaur name. I wonder if it's SamLizardonStan, like the lizard is on Stan. Anyway, my cat James is still here. I guess our cat. She's mine and my fiance's. I'm recording this after my previous video, so she's still here hanging out. You want to say hi this time, James? Your mom's listening. Do you want to say hi to her? No. Just purring. No hellos today. Maybe next time. Alright, so for this week, my opponent's Terra Captains are Kilowattrel, Ludicolo, and Drakloak. Kilowattrel can be flying, ice, or fairy. Ludicolo can be grass, steel, or fairy. And Drakloak can be ghost, fairy, or steel. So my opponent's team is kind of cool. One, it has Swirlypop, also known as Politoed. But four, I guess, of his Pokemon are Rain Pokemon, and are Chaladon, Politoed, Ludicolo, and Overquill. Also Kilowattrel likes Rain for Hurricane. But since it's only half of his team, he gets to choose if he wants to bring Rain each week. It's not like a fully dedicated Rain team, where you know you're going to face Rain if you're playing this guy. So I had to be prepared for Rain, but it's also possible that my preparation for Rain won't matter if he just doesn't bring Politoed. Also, our Chaladon especially, and Kilowattrel, and a little bit of Overquill, are even good outside of the Rain. So he can still bring most of his team, whether he brings Politoed or not. So Enamorus is a big problem here. Most of my team is weak to Fairy or Ground. I think Talonflame is the only Pokemon that resists Fairy and isn't weak to Ground. Empoleon and Glimmora are both weak to Earth Power. And he's pretty fast, so like a Specs Moonblast or Scarf Moonblast would be hard for me to deal with. Yeah, so let's look at my team. This one, alright, so we're leading off. First we have Darkrai. I was thinking about Nasty Plot, Darkrai, but my opponent's team is really bulky with Volcanion and Archaladon and Politoed, especially if any of them run an Assault Vest. So I didn't really want to run Nasty Plot, so we're bringing Hypnosis for the first time. Hopefully to put a bulky switch in to sleep, and then I'll take Chip from Bad Dreams, and I can either hit them with an attack or switch to something else. Dark Pulse hits a lot of his team. We've got Ice Beam for Enamorus, Meowscarada, and Great Tusk. I had Sludge Bomb for Enamorus, and then I realized Ice Beam is the same damage and hits Great Tusk, so we went with that. We've got Focus Blast for Archaladon, but Ice Beam over Sludge Bomb means we can't really hit Ludicolo, but he can Terra anyway, so I think that's fine. And we're running the Wide Lens item, which boosts the accuracy of your moves by 10%, which isn't always worth it, but we've got Hypnosis at 60% accuracy, and Focus Blast at 70% accuracy. So it's going to be boosting 2 moves, so I thought it would be worth it. Next we have Empoleon. I received a complaint or an observation that I'm not matching the gender of my Pokemon with the gender of the name they are. I've mostly been sending it to random because I'm used to that. This week, they're all female except Darkrai, who's genderless. Because this is Enamorus is one of the rare Pokemon where your gender matters. There's a couple abilities, and I think 1 or 2 moves, where if your opponent is the other gender, or the same gender, you get an effect. And since the gender is usually random, those abilities and moves aren't good, or not consistent, I guess, because you can't tell what your opponent's going to be before the game most of the time. But Enamorus's ability is Cute Charm. It has 2 abilities. It's got Contrary and Cute Charm, and Contrary's not always what it wants to run, because it makes any stat increases it tries to give itself be decreases, and any decreases increases. So if you want to run like Agility, you can't be Contrary, because you'll just make yourself slow instead of fast. So, since Cute Charm's its only other ability, you run Cute Charm. And what Cute Charm does is if your opponent is the opposite gender, they have a 30% chance, I think, to be infatuated. And then if you're infatuated with the opposing Pokemon, there's a chance you can't move. So, you want to make sure all your Pokemon are female if you're fighting against Enamorus. So next week, I'll try to remember to match the genders to the names. But here we have Empoleon. I've got Shuka Berry, so I can take a ground-type move better, like an Earth Power if I'm in versus Enamorus. I had a lot of trouble deciding on moves for Empoleon. I wanted Roost, so I can stay in versus Politoed for a long time. But I didn't want to get trapped by Whirlpool plus Perish Song, so I needed Flip Turn, so I was able to leave if Politoed tries to trap me. I wanted Flash Cannon, but it only hit Enamorus, so I went Ice Beam, so I could also hit Great Tusk, even though it does less to Enamorus, since it's not Stab. And then I decided on Grass Knot, because I needed a move to hit Politoed and Volcanion. So that's how we ended up with this moveset. Ice Beam, Grass Knot, Flip Turn, Roost. We have Talonflame. I brought Gale Wings this time, and Taunt. I just wanted something fast, because their fastest Pokemon is Kilowattrel, and that's speed ties with Darkrai. And Talonflame is 1 point faster, so will always outspeed any non-Scarf Pokemon on their team. And Hurricane is good into Great Tusk. Flamethrower is alright into most of his Pokemon except Volcanion for some damage. And there's one other Pokemon I wanted to... Yeah, our Chaladon. Our Chaladon can't do too much to Talonflame if it's not raining. So we brought Talonflame. We have Garchomp. It's Scarf Garchomp. I have Earthquake, Outrage, Iron Head, Stealth Rock. We have Stealth Rock because I really wanted up for Enamorus and Kilowattrel and Volcanion. Yeah, and Scarf Earthquake is pretty good. I think he has 3 resistances. Well, Ludicolo and Meowscarada resist. And they're weak. And Outrage does good into them. And then for There are 2 immunities in Enamorus and Kilowattrel. Well, for Kilowattrel I have Outrage, and for Enamorus I have Iron Head. So if we get rid of Enamorus, Scarf Outrage looks really good. So I don't think he has any resistances to Dragon. It's just Enamorus, and if he has any Fairy Terra types. Next we're bringing Dipplin for the first time, Terra type Steel. I had Whimsicott for a while, because I thought Moonblast, Terra Fairy Moonblast, maybe with a boosting item would be good. I had Sunny Day on Whimsicott for, in case they brought rain. I don't think I really recognized that I was removing that from my team when I did. But we do have Dipplin. I needed something to take hits from Kilowattrel and Volcanion, because I just was having a hard time with them, especially Kilowattrel, because Empoleon can't take Thunderbolts well. So we have Eviolite, Dipplin, max special defense. We've got Dragon Tail to switch out anything that wants to set up. We've got Recover. We've got Gyro Ball to hit Enamorus and Terra Fairy Kilowattrel. And my last move I picked Leaf Storm to hit Great Tusk and Politoed. And we've got Recover to stay healthy. Why'd I go Steel? To help with Enamorus, because I'd rather take a super effective Earth Power than Moonblast. Also, Steel would resist Flying, Ice, and Fairy from Kilowattrel. And most of, and Water moves at least from Volcanion. Last we have Glimmora, who I decided to lead with. I was thinking about Air Balloon to be immune to ground type moves, and a Passion Berry to take a water type move better, and I decided we're just going to go Focus Sash, so I can take a hit no matter what. Kind of like, I think it was week 2, I led Garchomp and tried to get up Hazards, and I died to a Draco Meteor from Goodra. I don't remember, I think I ran or at least considered running a Resist Berry. But Focus Sash is better. It'll allow me 2 turns. Or to survive 1 hit at least. So we've got Power Gem, Earth Power, Energy Ball to hit most of his team super effectively. I really wanted Stealth Rock. I've even got it on 2 Pokemon this week. So I wasn't able to fit Sludge Wave. But this is what we have. He does think I can 2-hit knock out most of his team if they're not Assault Vest. And I outspeed about half of it, so like Overquill, Great Tusk if it isn't max speed, and I think Politoed even has a tough time taking 2 Energy Balls. So that's our last Pokemon, and this is our team. This is not my team. This is from last week. Here we go. Here's my team. Alright, here's the game for week 4. I decided I was going to lead Glimmora, so I did. We see he didn't bring rain, so no Swirly Pop. And I take an Earth Power because I'm Sash. And we see he's also Sash. So I decided to switch out so I could try to get rocks later. And he goes Moonblast, hit crit. So I roost off the damage with Talonflame. As he goes Volcanion. So we go to Empoleon, expecting a water move. He goes for Steam Eruption, which we take pretty well. We go Grass Knot, but he switches. We see that our Chaladon is not sturdy, so that's good to know. We see Aura Sphere to hit Empoleon. We got Flamethrower trying to just get damage, and even though it doesn't do a lot, we see Volcanion's not Assault Vest here. So we go Dipplin. I think I was trying to avoid an Earth Power if he was expecting Empoleon. So we take a lot, but I think that's his most damaging move into us, so it's okay. Try to... forget why I went for Dragon Tail instead of Leaf Storm. I considered Leaf Storm. I think I didn't want to do 2 damage to our Chaladon. I'd rather have switched it out. But he gets an Enamorus on Dragon Tail, so that was a good move for him. Bring back in Talonflame. We Roost again, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And back to Empoleon on Volcanion. Take another Steam Eruption, get burned this time. Which is alright. We've got Roost, and we only have special attacks. I decided to flip the turn this turn, even though Volcanion has Water Absorb. I think I really wanted the rocks. So Enamorus couldn't switch in again. So we get in Glamora, get up the rocks, and we get taken out by Flash Cannon. But we did get the rocks, so it's alright. Talonflame comes back in. Not doing much with Flamethrower, but I don't think I was expecting him to have a move to hurt me, other than Draco Meteor, which I could roost the damage off as his special attack falls. But he has Thunderbolt, which does, what, 80%? Yeah. And then, even when I roost, Dragon Pulse does over half. So he's out damaging what I can heal, so I decide to just take the damage. I think at this point, Garchomp's Earthquake and Darkrai's Focus Blast are able to kill, or knock out our Chaladon. I considered Garchomp, because I didn't want to use Focus Blast since it could miss. But I think I decided him switching to kill a Watchel on an Earthquake would be really bad. So we went for Darkrai, and we go for Focus Blast, and we do hit. He was 4 moves. I think he was Assault Vest. Probably Assault Vest. But in comes Great Tusk. He takes a little chip from Stealth Rock, and we see he's Booster Attack. So his attack is raised. So I do have Ice Beam for Great Tusk, and I'm faster, since we see his item, and it boosts his attack. But I think it's a roll to kill at this point. It's like 90 to 100-ish damage. I don't think that's right, but according to the calculator, it was, I think about a 40-odd% chance to kill. So we do have Hypnosis, and if Hypnosis hits, we get Chip from Bad Dreams, and then we'll be able to kill him with Ice Beam next turn. And Hypnosis has 66% accuracy with the wide lens, so I decided to go for that, and we land. Yeah, and then he's asleep, so we're able to follow up with Ice Beam the next turn. And Volcanion here takes some chip. I decided to go for Hypnosis again, thinking even if I miss, I'll get a second chance. And he shows that he's Scarf, and he hits me for well over half. But luckily we hit another Hypnosis, and we get the Bad Dreams chip, and go for Dark Pulse, since he's guaranteed to sleep for 1 turn. We get a crit here, but I don't think it mattered. I think it was a roll to kill, and then even if I got a low roll, I think Bad Dreams would have been enough chip to knock out Volcanion. But in comes Meowscarada. I went for Ice Beam, to knock it out. I probably should have realized if he came in, he was probably Scarf to outspeed me. But that's fine. He goes to Enamorous, and it faints into the rocks. And we go Dipplin, because I'm pretty sure Dipplin's able to take on both of these Pokemon at this point. Yeah, and I didn't want to go Garchomp, because Scarf Meowscarada is going to outspeed Scarf Garchomp. And we go Terra Steel, expecting Triple Axle, which he does have. And I recover on this turn. Maybe I could have just went Gyro Ball and knocked him out. We do recover, we're back at full. He switches to Kilowattrel, since he's locked into an Ice move. And we go for Gyro Ball. There's a good chunk. And Kilowattrel also takes the rocks. We see he misses Hurricane on Empoleon. I think he switches here, so maybe he was also a choice item, maybe Choice Specs. Because otherwise he might have been able to just go for Thunderbolt. But I go Ice Beam here, because it's super effective against both his remaining Pokemon. We got Meowscarada on the switch. And in comes Kilowattrel one more time. And at this point, Dipplin's going to be able to take it out with Gyro Ball. But I decided to go Garchomp, and I am Scarf, so I outspeed. I think I was barely enough speed to outspeed Kilowattrel, so I guess he wasn't Scarf, he must have been, he was probably Specs. And we do manage to win. So we did get pretty lucky with Darkrai, landing a Focus Blast into 2 Hypnosises. So last week, I missed 5 out of 8 Hurricanes. So I got the numbers on that. That was 37% chance. And this week, hitting all 3 of those, 77%, 66%, 66%, because of Wide Lens, is a 34-ish% chance. So, 2 small probabilities in a row, 2 weeks in a row. That's kind of fun. But this number, funnily enough, is just shy of the chance of missing Focus Blast. This Focus Blast is 70% accurate, so 30% accurate is similar here. So the chance of hitting all 3 of these is about the same chance as missing a Focus Blast or a Hurricane, which, as everyone knows, is very likely to happen, to miss one of those moves. But jokes aside, I think this is the reason why Darkrai is rated, valued so high points-wise. You have to get lucky for it, but if you land Hypnosises, you can just, like, take out any Pokemon. Like, I don't think I would have taken out Volcanion without Hypnosis. So, that's our game, and we'll see you next week.